Also overdosing 5 times.
So fentanyl, that exotic, yeah, drink.
They give me some medication every month so that the evil spirit's gone away, and
shit, that hurt.
I hit by a car or whatever, it shattered my shin bone. The big old damn prescribed as needed comes prescribed as out.
Yeah, I was having a rough time, and I was real depressed because I lost custody of my son. So I was really struggling. I was drinking a lot, and I knew my friend Harold he messed with heroin a lot.
In 2025, 1,882 face unsheltered nights in Oklahoma City, a 2.4% rise, while Tulsa sees 1,493 cases, up 3%, amid 20% rent hikes since 2020. This isn't stats, it's Oklahoma City's heartbeat, pleading for compassion in the dark.
Welcome to U.S. Homeless Stories.
One, the growing reality of homelessness in Oklahoma. Homelessness in Oklahoma is no longer hidden in the shadows. It's becoming part of the state's everyday landscape. In 2025, more than 3,200 people were officially counted as homeless in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. But the real number is likely far higher when you include those sleeping in cars, couch surfing, or living in rural areas far from public view. Behind every figure is a human story. A father who lost his job after an oil company downsized. A mother forced out of her apartment when rent rose faster than her paycheck. A veteran haunted by trauma with nowhere left to turn. These are not strangers. They are our neighbors, the people who once shared the same hopes, the same streets, and the same dreams. Walk through Oklahoma City today, and you'll see how visible the crisis has become. Beneath overpasses and near major roadways, tents and makeshift shelters rise as silent witnesses to broken systems. Shelters provide over 1,000 beds each night, but it's never enough. Many end up seeking warmth in abandoned buildings or inside old cars parked at the edge of town. The economy tells one story: low unemployment, a growing GDP, but for too many, the numbers don't match reality. With wages stuck at $7.25 an hour and housing costs climbing more than 20% since 2020, stability has turned into a luxury. When we look beyond the headlines, we find people clinging to hope in the face of despair. A mother tucking her child into a blanket in a car seat. A man searching for work while battling exhaustion. These faces remind us that homelessness isn't about failure, it's about survival. What do you think could truly end this cycle of homelessness in places like Oklahoma? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective matters. And if these stories move you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories so we can keep uncovering the truths that America too often overlooks. Two, root causes deep dive. This is U.S. Homeless Stories, where we peel back the layers of what truly drives people into homelessness, beyond the headlines and the stereotypes. In Oklahoma, the struggle runs deeper than just losing a home. It's about ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances, fighting against a system that too often forgets them. Imagine working 2 jobs, doing everything right, yet still falling short as rent climbs past $1,000 a month while your paycheck stays the same. That's the reality for many families here, where the minimum wage hasn't moved since 2009, and inflation keeps squeezing tighter. One medical bill, one car breakdown, or one job loss can mean the difference between security and the streets. Behind every statistic is a face. A father laid off from an oil field after prices dip below $70 a barrel. Or a mother in rural Oklahoma driving 40 miles to find a clinic that can't take new patients. In towns spread across the state's 77 counties, jobs disappear, buses don't run, and mental health care remains out of reach. There's only one psychiatrist for every 11,000 people in this state. For those already on the edge, that gap can be life-altering. Addiction, depression, and despair don't just appear. They grow where hope runs thin. As we share these stories on U.S. Homeless Stories, we're not just showing struggle, we're showing strength. Every person you see has a heartbeat, a history, and a will to survive that deserves to be seen and understood. If these stories move you, please take a moment to like this video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories. Your engagement helps keep these voices alive and reminds the world that compassion still matters. What do you think is the biggest reason people fall through the cracks in America today? Three, social and health issues, amplifying the crisis. This is U.S. Homeless Stories, where we look beyond numbers to understand the real struggles behind them. In Oklahoma, the crisis isn't just about losing a home. It's about losing access to the care, understanding, and compassion that people need to survive. Mental health challenges, addiction, and the lack of medical support have built invisible walls that trap thousands in silence. According to state data, nearly 1 in 5 adults faces mental illness every year, but fewer than half receive treatment. Imagine carrying that weight without a safety net, in a place where hospitals have only 17 psychiatric beds for every 100,000 residents, leaving many to face their battles alone or in overcrowded ERs. Substance use disorders add another layer to these challenges. Disorders involving methamphetamine and fentanyl have contributed to over 1,000 overdose deaths in 2024, representing a 15% increase from the previous year. In Tulsa County, seizures of fentanyl have tripled since 2023, underscoring the extent of the public health concern. Outreach workers report significant barriers in linking individuals to appropriate treatment services, as many shelters lack the specialized resources needed for recovery support, and overall care options remain limited. It's not a lack of effort, it's a shortage of available resources. Outside the cities, in Oklahoma's wide rural stretches, things can feel even bleaker. Over 30% of residents live in areas with little or no access to treatment, sometimes miles from the nearest clinic. For many, getting help means traveling 50 miles or more, an impossible distance without a car or steady income. At U.S. Homeless Stories, we believe healing begins with awareness and compassion. Every person we meet is more than their struggle. They're a story of survival. If these realities move you, hit that subscribe button and join us. Together, we can shine a light where it's most needed and keep these voices from being forgotten. 4. Impacts on residents and safety. In Oklahoma, homelessness doesn't just affect those without a roof. It changes the heartbeat of entire communities. On the streets of Tulsa and Oklahoma City, the reality hits close to home. Families walking by riverbanks see makeshift shelters replacing park benches, while business owners sweep sidewalks before opening each morning, hoping to restore a sense of normalcy. Behind every tent is a story, but behind every door nearby, there's growing worry, an uneasy mix of compassion and concern. City data shows more than 2/3 of urban residents now express safety concerns tied to homelessness. Yet, when you look deeper, it's not fear of people, it's fear of what's being lost. Trash piles near the Arkansas River, rising fire calls in winter, and the haunting sound of sirens at night have become part of the city's soundtrack. In 2024 alone, Oklahoma City spent over $3 million cleaning encampments, while Tulsa's first responders handled thousands of calls involving emergencies born from cold nights, hunger, or untreated illness. Each statistic hides a face: a father trying to stay warm, a mother seeking food, a veteran fighting invisible battles. For shop owners in Bricktown or Midtown, the challenge is personal. Some see fewer customers, others face property damage, but many still choose empathy, handing out coffee or volunteering with shelters instead of turning away. That's the soul of Oklahoma, resilience mixed with humanity. Here on U.S. Homeless Stories, we believe safety and compassion can coexist. These challenges remind us that real security starts with understanding and care. If this story moved you, take a moment to share your thoughts below. What do you think is the right balance between compassion and safety in our communities? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories so you never miss the real stories shaping America's heart. Five, life on the edge. Life on the edge in Oklahoma isn't measured by numbers. It's felt in every cold breath, every sleepless night, and every quiet prayer whispered under an open sky. Across the plains and city streets, countless people are fighting invisible battles each day, clinging to the smallest fragments of hope. On bitter winter nights, when the temperature drops below freezing, some wrap themselves in thin blankets beneath bridges or inside cars that no longer run. In the scorching summer months, when heat shimmers over the pavement, dehydration becomes a real threat. Every sunrise brings the same question: where can I rest tonight without being told to move along? In Oklahoma City, outreach workers travel through alleys and parks, offering blankets, water, and a little bit of dignity. Yet, the need far outweighs the help. In rural areas, far from shelters, people live in RVs or share overcrowded rooms just to stay off the streets. Many veterans, men and women who once wore the nation's uniform, now fight a different war, one against loneliness, trauma, and neglect. Families struggle to keep children safe, relying on food banks that serve over 700,000 Oklahomans each year. For them, survival isn't about living comfortably. It's about making it through one more day. But even in the darkest corners, humanity shines through. A stranger offering a warm meal, a volunteer listening without judgment, a child's smile inside a shelter. These moments remind us that compassion still lives here. At U.S. Homeless Stories, we believe every story deserves to be heard. Every person deserves to be seen. If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, your ideas, or your empathy. And don't forget to subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories to join us in uncovering the truths that too many overlook. Together, we can make these voices impossible to ignore. Six, role of community and innovation. This is U.S. Homeless Stories, where we witness how the strength of a community can turn despair into hope. Across Oklahoma, something remarkable is happening. Ordinary people, churches, small businesses, and volunteers are stepping up to rebuild lives one act of compassion at a time. In Oklahoma City, the Continuum of Care program now connects over 40 local agencies, sharing real-time data to match people with homes faster than ever. What once took months now happens in weeks. Behind every statistic lies a human victory. A mother finally tucking her child into a warm bed. A veteran finding the stability to start over. In Tulsa, the spirit of unity shines through the A-Way Home for Tulsa Coalition. Then their Housing First approach, giving people homes before demanding they fix everything else, has helped reduce chronic homelessness by nearly 20% since 2024. Volunteers have poured more than 30,000 hours into street outreach, listening, comforting, and helping people find a path back to dignity. When you talk to them, you can feel it. Hope isn't just a dream here, it's a shared mission. Even local universities are joining in, developing affordable modular homes made from recycled materials, showing that creativity can coexist with compassion. Private companies are lending hands too. Aerospace and oil industries are sponsoring training programs for veterans and single parents, turning opportunity into empowerment. These aren't just programs, they're lifelines. Every effort, big or small, so proves that change begins when people care enough to act. So what do you think? Could your own community find ways to build bridges like these? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas. And if stories like these move you, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories to join us in giving voice to those America too often forgets. 7. My personal perspective, a call for change. Homelessness in Oklahoma and across America is not just about people without homes. It's about people without choices, without safety, and too often, without a voice. Every face on the street tells a story of dreams once alive, of jobs lost, of families torn apart by circumstances no one plans for. When I walk through Oklahoma City or Tulsa, I see not statistics, but survivors, men, women, and children fighting to hold on to dignity in a world that often looks away. It breaks my heart to know that in a nation as wealthy as ours, thousands still fall asleep in tents, cars, or under bridges, simply because there aren't enough affordable places to live. Rents keep rising, while wages stay the same. A single mother working 2 jobs can still lose her home after one emergency bill. A veteran battling trauma is left waiting months for help that should come immediately. The system wasn't built for them, it was built around them. And that's what needs to change. We need compassion, but we also need commitment. Stronger housing policies, real investment in mental health and addiction treatment, and opportunities that help people rebuild, not just survive. Because when we lift others up, we lift our communities too. From my heart, I believe that change begins when we truly see each other. Every story we share here on US Homeless Stories is a reminder that behind every struggle is a beating heart, a person who deserves a second chance. If these stories touch something inside you, don't just watch, be part of this journey. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and share your thoughts. Together, we can turn awareness into action and make sure no one's story is forgotten. Eight. Moving forward. What needs to change? Oklahoma's future in addressing homelessness depends on courage, compassion, and collaboration. The state stands at a turning point. While awareness is growing, the real test lies in transforming empathy into action. Across Oklahoma, more than 3,200 people still live without stable shelter each night. Behind every statistic is a face, a name, and a story. A veteran trying to rebuild, a mother choosing between rent and groceries, a young man lost after a job layoff. Progress will only come when every community treats homelessness not as a distant issue, but as a shared human responsibility. Affordable housing remains the cornerstone of lasting change. Studies from the National Low-Income Housing Coalition show that Oklahoma needs over 31,000 new affordable units to meet demand. Without that foundation, shelters overflow, families are displaced, and lives unravel. Expanding rent assistance, incentivizing affordable construction, and protecting tenants from unfair evictions are not just policies, they are lifelines. Alongside housing, mental health care must be strengthened. With 1 in 4 homeless adults battling untreated conditions, expanding access to mobile clinics, counseling, and substance recovery programs could rewrite countless futures. Equally vital is economic opportunity. As rent consumes over 1/3 of average income, families need pathways to financial stability. Job training, childcare support, and re-entry programs for former inmates or veterans can empower people to rebuild their independence. Then successful models like Tulsa's A Way Home for Tulsa prove that collaboration works when local governments, nonprofits, and businesses unite under one mission. Moving forward means more than counting fewer tents. It means helping more people find a place to belong. So, what change do you believe could make the biggest difference? Share your thoughts below and join our growing community of awareness and action. If these stories move you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to US Homeless Stories, where every voice matters and every story deserves to be heard. Conclusion. Homelessness in Oklahoma is more than a social issue. It's a test of humanity. Behind every statistic lies a heartbeat, a memory, and a dream still fighting to survive. When you walk past someone sitting quietly on a park bench or standing near a busy street corner, you're seeing more than hardship. You're seeing a story interrupted. Oklahoma, a state built on resilience and community pride, now faces a moral crossroads. Will we continue to look away, or will we rise to meet the need with compassion and courage? Real change begins with understanding that homelessness isn't a choice. It's often the result of a series of crises that could happen to anyone: a medical emergency, a lost job, or rent that keeps rising faster than paychecks. In 2025, over 3,300 Oklahomans face life without stable housing, many enduring sleepless nights in shelters or under the open sky. These numbers reveal how fragile stability can be, but they also remind us that every act of empathy, every shared meal, every word of encouragement can spark a turning point. True progress means building affordable housing, investing in mental health, and giving people a fair chance to rebuild their lives. But change doesn't only come from policies. It starts in the hearts of ordinary people. When we choose to care, to listen, and to act, we create ripples that can transform entire communities. Together, we can rewrite this story, not with pity, but with purpose. Here on U.S. Homeless Stories, we believe that awareness is the first step toward action. If these stories touch something in you, take a moment to leave your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is the most powerful way communities can help? And don't forget to subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories to follow more real stories that reveal the heart of America.